Boston Celtics. Okay, so first of all, the most interesting thing about the Celtics, by far for me, is their coach, Brad Stevens, who showed an amazing ability to not maximize talent necessarily, but to really get his team to buy into the fact that they could win despite all the odds against them. And for him to have gotten Butler with that talent on that team to the championship, 2 years in a row, is absolutely astounding. One of the greatest coaching accomplishments of all time. And when I had heard that Danny Ainge had decided to hire Brad Stevens as the new Celtics coach, immediately I was like, I cannot wait to see what he does with this team. And having watched a little bit of tape before I get into the players specifically, you can already see he has something special cooking up with this team. I mean, I saw ball movement and offense on some tape that I saw that you wouldn't see from a team with full 5-year veterans. I mean, these guys were playing on the same page, the same objective, and these were all either rookies or second-year players on the court, which is, I mean, it's amazing. And that's also a testament to the ability of Danny Ainge to find players that fit what Stevens is looking for. So, I mean, those two seem to be really on the same page in a very exciting and unique way. And so let's get into some of those players. So the first player that really should be spoken of, and as far as I'm concerned when it comes to the Celtics, because in my mind, going forward, there's no way that this guy is not the heart and soul of the Celtics. I mean, there's just no way he's not. And that's Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is, I said this to someone else, he's already one of the best players in the NBA. Full stop. And, I mean, I know, I'm reading now, I even forgot Rondo was on the team because in my mind, I know Rondo's injured is going to come back, but this is not Rondo's team. They have not shown a lot of faith. They have faith in Rondo. I just don't think that he fits in with the rest of the squad as well as Smart does. Smart, Rondo, talent-wise, is the equal of anyone. His point guard skills are amazing. His defensive skills are amazing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Rondo. It's just Marcus Smart is even more special than Rajon Rondo, and I find it hard to believe that he won't overtake Rondo this year. And I mean, I think they're already trying to trade Rondo, but I really think that regardless, I think that he's going to be the guy that everyone looks to as being the leader of the team. And what's exciting about this is that by having Marcus Smart on the team, a player like Jared Solinger, who in my mind, I mean, he played way better last year than I had ever thought he could in the NBA. I just feel like his physical limitations are so high in comparison to the rest of the NBA. I just really felt that there's no way for him to become anywhere near the player, everyone was saying he was. I thought at best he's another, off the bench, 10 to 15, 7 to 8 rebounds, can't play defense. And again, having watched the video of the Celtics, watching him play with Marcus Smart and Avery Bradley and Jeff Green and Kelly Olynyk. I mean, these guys just look on the same page. And this is the difference between, say, Rondo and Smart as far as within the chemistry of the players on the court. Smart and Solinger and Olynyk and Green to a lesser degree, and even Bradley, they're all super high basketball IQ. Solinger, though, is just super, super high basketball IQ, and that's where Marcus Smart is. And it looks like, again, from the little bit that I've seen, that Smart and Solinger are going to play amazing together, and Smart's actually going to be able to seems to be able to get Solinger to take advantage of that extreme basketball IQ in a way that, Rondo probably wouldn't, because Rondo, the difference between Smart and a Rondo is Smart is, yeah, he doesn't seem too concerned with positional labels. So he doesn't seem to be so ball dominant in the sense that he dribbles around and around. Rather, he dribbles for a purpose. He dribbles because he's trying to make something in his head happen, meaning that he's not afraid. He's more willing to give the ball up and allow other players on the team to take advantage of mismatches. Whereas someone like Rondo, and he's not the only player in the league, but Rondo considers himself the point guard. So he wants to dribble around until he finds the play that he thinks is the best based on that possession, what the defense gives, and all that. Marcus Smart is more of a let's try to make something happen as a team, not just as a player. And that's the kind of guy Sullinger needs, because he can pass, he sets screens, he does all that. And if he doesn't have a player to play off of, you're not going to see the Jared Sullinger that you saw in high school and in college. So very exciting. So again, like the starting five I see ideally, and again, I don't know if it'll be this year, but I really do think going forward, we're going to see Marcus Smart, we're going to see Avery Bradley, who's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and it was, although he's a terrible shooter, he has been in the past. Now, it may have changed, but again, who cares? Avery Bradley does not need to score on the court, because on the court with him will be Jared Sullinger, will be Kelly Olynyk, and will be Jeff Green. Smart, Sullinger, Olynyk, they're your top three. Jeff Green's a great number 4. He could even be number 3 depending. And, Bradley and Green are really going to be out there for their defense, which are both fantastic at. And, that'll be the real issue for the Celtics going forward is their interior defense, because Olynyk is not a true shot blocker. Jared Sullinger is definitely not a real shot blocker. Jeff Green is not a shot blocker. So on the bench they have, let's see here, who do they have? They have Vitor Favarani, Dwight Powell from Stanford, who looks very interesting. But really the Celtics aren't going to compete this year. They're going to play well, I think, a lot better than other people think. But until they can solve that interior D problem, their ceiling's going to be very limited, because come playoff time, if you don't have that interior presence, teams just any playoff team's going to score all over you. That's just a fact of life. But the one interesting thing with an interesting thing with the Celtics is I really think that they're going to play an Allen style. They're going to play Allen style, meaning that Stevens is aware of the defensive limitations that I'm mentioning. And one of the things in the NBA or the biggest thing in the NBA that determines the success on offense and defense is how the offensive team begins their possession, meaning that if the team going on the offensive begins their possession off of a rebound or a turnover, they have the advantage and should expect to score more often than not against the defense, because the defense does not have time to set up. So the offense can rush back, get the defense in a mismatch, and then swing the ball until they get the ball into the spot that they want it. Now, the exact opposite is true if the offense is forced to inbound the ball from underneath the hoop, because that gives the defense the ability to get back. And the NBA, with the length of the way that it is, it's nearly impossible. It's not nearly impossible, but the advantage is definitely in the defense's favor if they can get back and get set, and especially NBA defense, because one tip ball is going to cause the offense to have to reset, and with the 24-second shot clock, any reset or any interruption of a team's play is going to lead to most likely a rush shot and a miss shot. And so the main point though is basically the ideal situation is to have a shot blocker on your team who can cause the other team to, and not just a shot blocker, I mean, shot blocker is the ultimate thing, because if you don't have a shot blocker guarding the hoop, teams will drive at the hoop, and they will treat whoever is at the hoop like a turnstile, because these dudes are freaks. They don't, if you can't guard the hoop, you're done, you're toast for the most part. Especially if you keep beginning offense off a rebound. Now, this is where the Celtics, I believe, will be a lot like an Adelman team in the sense that they're going to protect their defense by trying to execute on offense and give guys like Solinger and Olenek a chance on defense, not a great one, mind you, but a much better chance than they would otherwise by making sure that they execute on offense, forcing the other team to pull the ball out of the baskets. Meaning that most teams' runs, if you watch, will begin on the defensive end. They start with a block, they kick it out, and then they get in transition, they score, then now they're back on defense set, right? Well, with the Celtics, probably going to happen with them pulling the ball out of the basket and then getting back on defense and then taking advantage of the fact that they're set up, which is a lot like an Adelman team when they had, the year they went to the playoffs, lost to the Spurs in the first round. It was Brad Miller. It was, who else was on that team? Well, basically, Brad Miller was the center. He can't play defense. He couldn't play defense. And so Adelman built his teams, not just those Kings teams, but a lot of teams, even the Blazers back in the day, around the fact that he was not a defensive mastermind. So his teams have always executed well to take advantage of the offense to defense transition. So I really think Stevens will be doing that this year. Real quick, I just want to go over some of the players I think are very interesting that I haven't mentioned. I really think James Young out of Kentucky could turn into one of the better two guards in the league. Marcus Thornton off the bench is one of the best shooters in the league. He's fantastic. That's a great pickup. And I mentioned just about everyone else. So that's the Boston Celtics, or at least my take on it.